Hi, my name is Jonas. I'm the head of people at Honestly, and welcome to the tutorial about our weekly Pulse dashboard. Once you have collected data with your surveys and you open up the backend of Honestly Engage, you will see this screen that is visualizing the data from our weekly or monthly or quarterly Pulse. That depends entirely on how you set it up. And I want to walk you through what you can see here to help you make sense of it. So first of all, you can see that this screen is organized in several different rows. So at the very top, you have navigation through the backend of our survey, followed by all the bookmarked dashboards that you may want to look at and that are important to you, followed by a filter line. And so here basically you have filter variables like the department people work at or the office people work from. And you can use these to zero in on a certain population within your organization to find out how they are doing in a certain metric. The engagement score here is an aggregate score of all the metrics you are measuring with the Pulse survey. And here you have a temporal display of how it has developed over the last 3 months. Scrolling down, you see here 9 pillars of engagement, as we call them. And these are basically the top level metrics we use, and they consist of several sub-metrics, which again are comprised of up to 3 or 4 questions that people get asked in order to attain a score in each dimension. I want to walk you through them really briefly. First up, we have satisfaction. So this is basically a very material aspect of people's relationship to their job. It has to do, as you can see, with compensation, benefits, job security, and how they like their workplace. And if we take a look in this screen, you can see all the questions that people may get asked to find out how they feel about a certain metric. And so, for example, here for workplace, you can see, are they able to work undisturbed? Is it accessible? And is it appropriate for the work that is being done? The next dimension is called empowerment, and this basically has to do with how the employees are empowered through tools, through processes, through feedback, and through autonomy to do their jobs well. Next to it, we have the pillar of personal growth, and personal growth is different from empowerment or specifically performance management because it has to do with the individual's goals. So this may actually be a bit different than what the organization would ideally want an employee to do, and this has more to do with their personal career goals, their learning objectives. Do they receive mentoring? Have they a feeling of purpose in what they do? Number 4 is peer report, and this is basically a measure of the relationship someone has with the people around them who are on the same level within the organization. And very clearly and very obviously, the better someone feels about the people they are working with, the more likely it becomes that they will do a good job and achieve positive outcomes. Next to it, we have management report, which is very similar in terms of what we measure, but the target group is different because managers, due to their different position in the hierarchy, of course, interact differently with their employees in a lot of ways. And so we respect this by asking a bit different questions. For example, trust is being split up into 2 dimensions, whether the employee trusts the manager or the other way around. And of course, the issues of support, collaboration, and communication also come up. The 6th dimension is concerned with recognition and feedback. The most important thing to know here is that not only the frequency of feedback matters, but we also ask about the quality of feedback and recognition that the employees receive. And this is to make sure that they are not spammed with low quality feedback or compliments, but rather that the things they are being told are also valuable for them. This also includes a dimension of suggestions, and this is how employees typically give feedback back to the organization, how they share an idea for improvement, and the pillar here will measure how well the employees perceive the organization to deal with suggestions. Pillar number 7 is culture, and this concerns itself with the values, the vision, mission, and strategy the organization has, and mainly whether the employees understand it, whether they are aligned with it, whether they know what is expected of them in terms of these things, and also whether the organization is perceived to be ethical. So, for example, this would mean do men and women get treated equally, or are minorities treated fairly within your organization? Pillar number 8 is advocacy. Advocacy asks about how the employees feel and speak about their organization when they are outside of work. In very rough terms, this means, are they proud of where they work? Do they speak favorably of the organization to their friends and family? And do they intend to stay with you in the future? The last pillar is called well-being. Well-being asks about how much concern the organization places on employees' physical health and safety, how much stress the employee experiences at work or from work, and how easy it is for them to cope with it by integrating their job with their private lives, because this is one of the most important ways to relieve stress for most people. A thing of note is that safety will usually be only important for organizations that have people working in production, outside jobs, doing maintenance, or otherwise physically dangerous jobs. Typically for white-collar workers in an office, safety is not an issue. At the very bottom, you can see already a visualization of the engagement score. So that's the overall aggregate score by several filter variables. So in this data set, we only have location and department. So these are the ones being displayed here. But if you want to look more granularly at the data, you can just scroll up and, for example, say, hey, I want to know how my marketing people in New York City are doing. And then it will filter the data by these variables. And now we know how the marketing people in New York are doing. That's already it. I hope this was helpful for you. I wish you all the best in applying this powerful tool to serve your team and your organization and to grow better together. Thank you and all the best. Bye-bye.